Kansas City. Mo. Dylan Disu sat sprawled in a hallway outside the Texas locker room on Saturday night. Leaning against the wall, she checked her phone for incoming love. The number 2 Longhorns advanced to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 15 years. In their 71-66 win over 10-seeded Penn State, Disu had a season-high 28 points. And a lot of people were thinking the same thing. A reporter nearby had to ask about it. "Where did this come from?" "He was here, man," said Disu, a veteran striker. "He was just hiding. That's all." "Where exactly is it?" "In locker room. In heart of Longhorns. In air? Call it a burnt orange mojo with no end right now." Sweat and tears mixed with the flood of emotions that followed the Horns' run over Des Moines, Iowa. Texas to Sweet 16. Basketball sought to redefine itself. "This," said Warden Marcus Carr, "is a packhorse team." It was an impromptu mention but also perhaps off-brand for much of UT athletics. The words "horse" and "Texas" are often not included in the same sentence in these clutch situations. From what I heard, Carr said before Friday's game against 3-seeded Xavier in the NCAA Tournament Midwest Regional semifinals. At the time, Texas's top scorer created a frayed perception that may have started with the Longhorns football, but spread to basketball as well. "You know, Texas athletes have the best of everything. Pump money didn't always mean championships were pumped out. We've never heard of that in the past when we were here," said Chris Ogden, Texas assistant who played on the show's Final Four team in 2003. "But brand, Texas, has a stigma that comes with it. That we are in the White House at top. But let me tell you, coward or weak, they can't make it in Texas. Not recently. What the Horns have struggled with this season cannot be written down. The fact that ex-manager Chris Beard was fired 3 months ago is on top of everything. That alone threatened to redefine Texas. Probably should have. Instead, it made them stronger, tougher. It made them winners." Before his arrest on December 12, Beard was one of the most coveted, upward-moving coaches in the country, charged with severely strangling his fiancée. Beard was eventually fired in early January. The charges were dropped in February. However, it was lame. He left nothing to be ashamed of in the dressing room. In fact, there were several hints thrown by the Horns last weekend that playing was suddenly easier for interim coach Rodney Terry. "The way our team has evolved is completely different from what it will be," Ogden said. "This is not hitting one person or the other. When adversity hits a lot of people, you have to make a decision," said senior striker Christian Bishop. "Either you lay down and give up or you get up and keep pushing. I think that made us a better team." Senior guard Timmy Allen said the major challenges, both personally and with the transition from Beard, have helped Horns. "When things get tough, you go up like this or go down like this," Allen said with a gesture. "We chose the better route. Whatever the case, some kind of load has been lifted. Everything changed so quickly and shockingly that in a way, the Horns didn't have time to react." 21-7 under Terry, a 54-year-old ex-basketball player. Sporting News named him the National Coach of the Year. "Being in the middle of the season has almost isolated us," Ogden said. "We had to work day and win the next day and win game. In some ways, it almost helped us get over it. Texas has long been very good program, but like its football counterparts, it's a bit of fail. Despite Beard's departure, the program is running out of excuses and is also crossing the national threshold of greatness. 2-seeded in the NCAA tournament, won by finishing second in the Big 12. Texas split with regular season champions and number 1 seed Kansas, who have since split. In the 8-day gap that includes the Big 12 tournament, Texas beat KU twice with a total of 36 points. In a one-off world exacerbated by transfer portal and the one-time transfer rule, Texas has it all in modern college basketball spectrum. There are 5 transfers in the squad. 7 players returned from 2021-22 team that won 21 games under Beard, the most Texas in 8 years, winning and losing second round. This stabilized a group of 6 players who were at least 22 years old. There are NBA teams that are not that experienced. There aren't many stories that are this rare. Terry is one of 4 UT employees with a head coaching background. He now deserves permanent work. Given the journey, and the result to date, we might call them Longharms. They don't back down without a fight. In fact, the good old Texas vibe may be back. They didn't grow up at Big 12, he told the team before the Penn State game. They're at the other conference, Big 10, where you got a few nights off. The top scorer, Carr, is the only active player in Division I with at least 2,300 career points, 700 assists and 500 rebounds. Warden Xavier Rice was the 12th major 6th man of the year. At 1.99 meters, Disu has become a force in the post, averaging 16.5 points in his last 8 games. Terry was smart when it came time to win the Penn State game. He decided that the game would be decided by going to Disu. After Texas trailed 3 points, the Vanderbilt transfer exhausted 3 straight jumpers. Horns suddenly took a 3-point lead and was confident. "We've been tested many times in battle," Terry said. "This was nothing new. When we got there, there was neither a jolt nor a corner. Now is the time to consider keeping the group together." Ogden gave up his coaching job in Arlington, Texas 2 years ago to join Beard. He once won the most games in Texas as a player. Terry left UTEP as head coach in 2021, with 3 years left on his contract to return to Texas. He previously played for 9 years under Rick Barnes as part of Texas basketball's last big run. In addition to the 03 Final Four, Texas advanced to the Elite Eight under Barnes in 2006 and 2008. When asked directly if he had done enough to get permanent job, Terry replied, "At the end of day, God will put you where you need to be." I mean, at least a rough-edged sense of calm settled over the program. Where did this really come from? I think Terry embodies what we are and what we try to be in every game. Tough, Allen said. Someone who's been there before, never shivers in the face of difficulties. Someone who wakes up and tries to attack the day to be great.